Right, what is up, worldwide family? Welcome back to the channel. I go by Jimmy Flipping Deals, so if you don't know, now you know. I am a part-time reseller that still manages to hold down a full-time job. So far, so good on that. Now, I will get to the topic of the day, the soup du jour for my media content, but first, for those that have been watching, I have had a New Year's resolution not to be late after Christmas for my day job. I generally am very punctual, down to the minute, if not before. If you're on time, you're late kind of person. However, with the business growing and Christmas, Q4 hit hard, I found myself becoming late more and more often, to the point that they started cracking down on the whole team. That way they couldn't be singled out for hitting the people that were late. And I wasn't the only one, but nevertheless, I do take my job seriously. It's understandable. They hire me to do a job. They expect me to be there on time. I get it. And Q4, I was doing the best I could. Matter of fact, if you remember, one day I even called in because there was too many packages to do. But now that being said, after 2023 started, I said my New Year's resolution was I wasn't going to be late anymore. But just the other day, we get 7 minutes of grace too. Should be super easy. 7 minutes of grace, couldn't make it happen. I was 1 minute late, meaning 8 minutes actually late. As the business grows, those minutes seem to kind of float by. And that kind of brings me to the topic of the day. I actually started this video earlier, and the topic of the day is the distractions of reselling, the way that how it's so easy to get caught on specific details and not look at the large picture as a whole. I, among others, call it going down a rabbit hole. I actually started this video, like I said before, but then I seen my coffee shop. So I got distracted and had to go get coffee. But I think ultimately it is important for us to figure out what's important and what's not during any given time. It's so easy to get caught up with listing habits, good, bad, or indifferent. Whether actually in the listings, the OCD, and a lot of us, I'm not talking about y'all, I'm talking about me, is the title perfect? SEO, is the what am I calling it? The description, is that to the point? What it is it optimized? What about it can I fix? How long do I spend on the item? How long do I take pictures of the same item? Do I edit them? Do I put watermarks into them? Do I adjust the lighting? You can drag on some things forever and really bring the amount of listings you do down. I hear personally about people that are doing 40, 50 listings a day, and they're making money. No qualms about it. I'm not trying to pick fights. What they do works. The sales is a numbers game, but a lot of times you look at their pictures and I'm kind of surprised they sell, but they do. So apparently I'm in the wrong, but I do focus and spend time on some of those things that other people may see as senseless. For me, with a limited inventory, it doesn't hurt to spend that extra time. But at Christmas, the way that I shipped became different, because that's another thing that I can spend way too much time on. I can make it, and as well as I'm sure you can, make it where the particular product doesn't rattle at all in there. There's absolutely no chance of, I'm I'm starting with a mint collectible and wanting it to be mint when it gets there too. You know, and all the extra padding and cutting down the boxes and frankenboxing and, you know, you name it. You know, rather than that, come Christmas when I'm staring at, you know, 20, 30, 40 packages, I forget, I'd have to go back to see how many I did in one day this time, with having a full-time job as well. You know, I learned the value of brown paper. I learned the value of going ahead and spending that extra 4-ounce rate to get the job done in, you know, a fraction of the time. Rather, you know, and some of those things had transferred now. You know, my first year, I made a lot of boxes because I had extra cardboard and not a lot of money, you know. Ouch. Hot coffee. Maybe I should go for iced coffee this time of year. But anyways, pecan praline is the bomb for me. But I got distracted. Now, you know, I did go down the rabbit hole with the pictures. You know, I used to personally take the pictures, 12 pictures, lighting just right, tweak the lighting, put the watermarks on them, and I do an edited version of that, somewhere between no effort and way too much effort. I found a happy medium that works for me. But by refining those processes, when I talk about that regular, I'm able to optimize the output that I'm given. You know, but at the same time, there's so many things within my personal business, as I'm sure yours is, that I can easily get distracted with. You know, I'm building my website now. I'm developing it. It's actually been live for over a year, but it's been very disorganized. For those that are keeping up, know, you know, and I'm working on that. And I don't believe that idea as a whole is a distraction or a, you know, running down the rabbit hole as a whole. However, there are definitely rabbit holes within that thought process. You know, ultimately, I want my website to eliminate, first phase, eliminate fees from Amazon and eBay by having my own clientele. Not to say that I will do away, because I won't, with Amazon or eBay or any of the multiple platforms that we sell on. I'm not doing away with them, but I want my own take on it. You know, I want my own clientele where, you know, at the moment all I pay is 3.5% commission for the or processing fee for the payments. And I think there's ways around that, but if I could get it to that, you know, I'd be saving what, 11% or 10% on eBay, all the way up to what, you know, 20% on Amazon sometimes. And other sites are less, but even if it's 10%, if I can draw back 10% revenue off of sales, you know, or I say draw back, you know, retain it. That's a huge windfall for me, you know. So I do believe piecemeal that the website is definitely worth doing. The reason I choose to do it at the moment is because between now till July, this is the slowest season of the year. And yes, I want to increase inventory, which the store overall week over week has grown. I need to list some again, but week over week has grown, you know, so that's a win back from Christmas when I just got my inventory got annihilated. But nevertheless, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to be able to do it. So is it a distraction as a whole? No. But here's the deal with that. The details within there. You know, I want, all right, let's put it the way it is. Walmart and Target, if you go to them, right, you have the picture, a short, you know, whatever, less than 20 character description just to the right, as an example. And try as I may, I could only get that description underneath it. Doesn't hurt a thing, right? But I caught myself after about 20 minutes of trying in the code to get that to move from the bottom of it to replicate or resemble what they are doing. And I'm not in their code. I don't know how they do it, but I just, working with my limited knowledge of coding, could not make it happen. And after, like I say, about 20 to 30 minutes, I realized, I went, wait a minute, it doesn't matter whether it's to the right or underneath it or to the left or you know, it just doesn't matter. You have a website to develop and you're getting caught up on this one detail. Now, the thing that I've learned about coding over the last 4 or 5 days, whatever it's been that I've been learning how to code, is that, you know, you don't generally so much build code, you replicate code. I mean, now coders may very well, obviously, build code, but it's easier for me to replicate. So I designed a small segment of code that works for, in this instance, a collection, right? I designed a collections code, and then I replicate that code throughout all of the sections with the different item options within that collection. So there is a priority to get this one right, because if this one's not right, all of them aren't right, you know. But ultimately, that detail is irrelevant. It doesn't help the shopper at all with it being to the right. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't increase their shopping experience. I do believe it's a tidier look aesthetically, but what I have going on is still a very nice look. Matter of fact, if you want to take a look, www.jamestowntrading.com, you can go. Anyway, hit the, where's it at right now? Because I'm working on it. It's in the construction zone. There's the shop now button, and then there's the construction zone. The construction zone will take you to a list of categories. There's only a few right now. The one that is complete is in apparel. You click apparel, you can look at men's apparel, and that sub-collection, that subcategory is complete to the best of my ability. That is what the entire website is now gonna look like. So, and eventually it'll get better, but rather than going down the rabbit hole of that one little detail is not the way I want it, and it's in some part of the code somewhere, and I can go through an encyclopedia to find the one rule. And for those that are younger, an encyclopedia is a big book. You know, I in order to find one line that is contradicting what I'm trying to do, and I know basically where it is, but it might take me the better part of a day. Notification. I wish it came at the top so I could read it too. But back to talking about distractions. No, but you know, rather than spending maybe a better part of a day trying to find the one line in there affecting different parts of the code, then unaffecting them, changing them back, reverting them, however you want to say that, until I find the right spot. You know, rather than that, I just aborted that whole mission and called great, perfect, and moved on. Because compared to what I have been dealing with, what I got going on right now is great. It went from subpar to great virtually in less than a week's time on one subcategory. There's lots and lots of categories. Now there is one thing concerning with that as a side note, not about the topic. The amount of code that I put in there, it's possible has dropped my speed a little bit. I do believe I have the most efficient version, and it still says that my website is performing faster than others. Now there are some codes in there that are loop information that just don't seem to, well, right now they have no bearing at all, and the code that is not secure, tasked out, may be interfering with the web speed a little bit. I mean, it's very marginal. It's, like I say, my website still says it's performing faster than others on Shopify. So the more I get to it, hopefully the better it'll become. The whole point of this video is to possibly get you to look at your processes and see where in there is worth it, and where in it you can just shave those corners off. Because by shaving those corners off, we just get better and better. And you can't round out a corner that don't need rounded. I'm not saying that, because there's been times that I have stopped a process and have later, months later, gone back to using that process because of the side effects of skipping a step. Some are good, some are bad, some are necessary, and some absolutely are not. But I know that over time, I have found a lot of them that are not necessary, and it has reinforced the ones that are. So it's been a game changer for me to dive into those operational details and see what's working and what's not. And it's real easy to replicate what's working, and real easy to cancel out what's not. So in a nutshell, guys, that is the video. I don't know if I talked about personal business, but I had a decent amount of packages go out today, so I am happy about that. Not a lot of money, but if that amount of packages went out every day, which overall they do, it's life-changing. Year over 2 years ago, whatever, this year as opposed to 2 years ago, the influx of revenue into the household is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's not like get rich money, but when you start with $1 and you get $2, it's pretty nice. So good luck to you guys. Let me know in the comment sections any thoughts about this topic, or ones you'd like to hear from in the future. If you have made it this far, thank you so much. Please consider subscribing. Short of that, guys, y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. All right. Ouch. Coffee. Bye.